the Leona will get picked, of course. And I think as DRX, you're fine. You know, just take the Viego. You can get a bunch of those pickoffs with the poke that they already have. You don't need to play Lee Sin. And they get the Leona as well because the Lee Sin was the ban. And Ornn is being hovered right now. Keen has played the Malphite. Will he just go for this pick instead? As 1 second, 0 seconds left, it will be Ornn, the lock-in for Keen in the top lane.
And the Ornn, when it comes to the engage and the over-utility he provides to his team, I think brings a lot more than the Malphite. Also, as mentioned, Malphite can struggle into Xayah specifically because it's really easy for her to negate the pressure and the threat that he has with Unstoppable Force. Also, the fact that you can negate things like the gold card from TF, very, very nice. But the laning phase, a lot more rough. Going to get shoved in there, going to get shoved in to a certain extent in mid. I think that will be a very non-interactive lane, but that 2v2 is a lot stronger for DRX.
Jesus.
It's mostly about the bot side. I do think looking at this for Kwangdong, whereas for DRX they have a lot of lanes they can play through. But if they don't get enough done, and you're going to Corki Ornn in the mid to late game, good luck.
Yeah, definitely a lot of options for disengage on the side of Kwangdong Freaks as well. You got the Crescent Guard, you even have bullet time in your face, right, if you are not careful. But the Jace and the TF can definitely get a lot of work done from range. So we'll have to see how that does go along and how Fate's Corki is feeling, because definitely feel like Corki did not get represented very well yesterday, just based on the team matchup.
The idea of Corki, of course, especially in a matchup like this, is, yeah, you have some poke with Jace, that's nice. We have the better poke, and Kwangdong's comp does it all. It can, as you pointed out, disengage very nicely, can engage, has a great amount of range, has a lot of options when it comes to team fighting front to back, and objective control. It's just about getting to your spikes. That's the raw part for them. But if they can reach those and stay on relative parity, DRX are going to have a very tough late stage of the game. But then, look at the picks, right? Viego, TF. These picks are really good at snowballing early leads. So Kwangdong needs to be navigating the map very carefully.
As might be starting off with some shenanigans in the top side.
Yeah, we'll spot them. And of course, is on. So worst case scenario can always just W out of a unfortunate situation. Notably here, I was gonna bring this up. I was wondering whether Teddy was going to play the lethality MF, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Has gone for Comet. And in terms of bullying the lane, it's obviously a lot more consistent. The burst that you get is very, very strong. Also went for Gathering Storm.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We love.
I mean, I guess with Comet and MF, you're already bullying enough, so you don't necessarily need that extra.
Yeah.
But you could definitely see, I mean, a Scorch Angle in this case, right? With really trying to put an end to the lane and bully as hard as possible, but definitely going to be nuking as this mid to late game does come along.
Yeah, top side for Keen, it is a matter of just do nothing mostly if you can. That's ideal. Just get your waves in. Try not to get dove. Try to get as much experience and as little turret damage as you possibly can. And cruise towards, right? Like, I think the first Herald and Drake fights, those are still a little bit finicky unless you can get a really great bullet time setup. But when it comes to second, third Drakes, that's when the composition of Kwangdong, I think, truly will bring a large amount of strength. As Fate feeling a lot better than some of our other Corkis did, at least early on here.
Yeah, he's going to be having a pretty fun time just farming it out. Not really under too much pressure as the Corki, unless he does get flashed on, as Teddy has played a total of 23 games of Misfortune in the LCK. And yeah, I mean, definitely a pick that has been in and out of the meta from time to time, from year to year, and Teddy's been around for a long time, so not surprising to me.
It's been mostly the, as far as I can remember at least, has been mostly PTA crit built for MF.
Yeah. There has been some lethality as well.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pioshik sees him on the ward. We know where Pioshik is. He's in the enemy jungle. As a trade here in mid, Zeka's taken way too much damage. He will not have to flash, though, as this gigantic trade happens in here. Mid-prio going the way right now of KDF, but Teshrak with the smite will be able to take down that blue buff.
And it's the bot side prio working out very nicely. Deft and Barrel immediately there to back Teshrak up, and that's going to be an early CS lead. And if they can also deny Gromp, it will be even worse, but LM is going to be able to, at the very least, pick that one up. Entire jungle still very much in control of DRX, and a nice early lead for Teshrak is a good sign when it comes to DRX, their general performance.
See, we have seen a lot of this matchup as well.
Yeah.
14-12. You were kind of talking about this. Keen kind of just wants to sit here and build items. And,
that's it.
And forge things. You know, he's the blacksmith. He
really doesn't like fighting.
He's not really into fighting. He did go, by the way, Unsealed Spellbook, so this Ornn might like fighting, actually, if he does switch over to the Ignite. That's something we used to see in this matchup all the time, actually, where it's like, okay, Jace will get the prio, but if Ornn picks up the Ignite with the Unsealed Spellbook, then all of a sudden you have kill pressure, and Ornn has a really nice combo where you can get on top of him if he's not prepared, and of course can deny the knockback. So we'll see how Keen decides to play that one out. For now, the Jace will have a fun time.
And the benefit of the early invade is that now Teshrak has already got his first back in, able to pick up a couple of longswords already on his second rotation, or second clear rather. LM still level 3, down a level. Gonna have to go back soon as well to spend the money that he got off his first clear, and that is gonna put him pretty significantly behind. Might provide an opportunity if Teshrak is able to steal away some chickens, for example, would be even better, although LM might not want to take the risk and clear those out before backing, as I think you are very happy giving up the Drake here early as Kwangdong anyway, so there is not really a definitive need for you to go and be at your strongest as you can possibly be.
Yeah, still going to be very nice for Teshrak to get a super early Drake, right? Because if you can scale and get that tempo going with the TF and the Viego super early on in the game and start the respawns on the Drakes, it's going to be a really nice time, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does just start it up right now, take this one down. Beryl has also played a ton of games of Leona, about a 74-75% win rate there, and is feeling pretty good about that.
I think both teams doing nicely here. Kwangdong should not contest this. DRX has to take this, so for the first Drake, pretty much the expected outcome. Kingen also identifying that this is a non-interactive lane, picking himself up the early pull. As maybe in the next one, Atlas.
It's okay. I'm okay with it.
I mean, I am. You know my opinion on
I think we're all okay with this, actually. Maybe even Atlas, because in a series like this, as we will have the ults coming out here. Ignite is taken, by the way, by Keen. He's getting on, and there it is used. And the damage might be enough here as Kingen will be forced to flash away. And that's exactly what we were talking about.
Fellas has seen this one before. And it works out perfectly. Really nicely done there by Keen, because that is so much gank pressure that is now there in case LM ever drops by towards the top side of the map. Really, really nicely done there. And it's kind of expected at this point, right? Like, this is not something new. We've seen this countless times. Old Ornn, I don't know how many patches ago it is now, but
after his 7,000
like a year,
nerfs,
year and a half, he doesn't actually 100-0 people in a situation like that anymore, but you can see the remnants, you can see the history in their play right there.
It's, you know, the champions work the same way, right? None of them got any big reworks, and he still is able to do the same combo and put that pressure on. And it just means that Pan can't be as annoying, just, you know, a super lane bully or anything like that without a splash. Digo Cull, by the way, ends tier, as we do have a big engage on the bottom side. Def takes a ton of damage. Teddy not yet level 6, and will hold on to his flash. Has to use his cleanse, but that is a summoner win for Kwangdong Freaks. Zellum getting bullied again, still down a level, and is having trouble with Teshrak right now. Yeah,
this is the unfortunate reality of LM, is that if your lane's down the prio, you are the one paying the price as a jungler. And I am very impressed. This is really, really nice from DRX.
Level 6 is hit. It's not quite enough, though. Yes, you trade ults, but at the same time, you had to flash. So whether that's worth it or not, I would say not. But you do force them out of lane very aggressively, so that is one thing.
If they can push for a plate here, I think that is an okay trade, but it looks like instead they might be thinking about roaming up Oh no.
And Elam just going to come on in here, face-checking the Viego in a ton of trouble. Has to flash away. Remember, he's not level 6, so no Crescent Guard. As now Keen is getting into his own jungle and being bullied. Zeka a bit all alone here, as he will flash away right on time to get away from Hoyt. But now Zeka super deep in there. Keen taking a ton of damage as well, as Hoyt will be the sacrifice, as everybody on the side of KDF is so low, and DRX should get the objective for free.
Oh, and really the only one that's really strong here is Teddy. And Teddy wasn't actually in that fight, right? Fate wants the scale. Sparrow is just going to take a look-see. But honestly, I am loving the aggressive playstyle that we're seeing here from DRX. They're really pushing the lead, identifying that they put Ellen behind right from the get-go. And they need to do this 100%, right? This is exactly how they need to play this. The only downside there is that with Zeka being caught in an awkward position, they couldn't actually force the type of fights that you'd love to with a TF. But still, we're invading. We're making the enemy drop waves. We're making the enemy drop plates. We're taking away buffs. And DRX coming out pretty strong in his first game. And this was a drop from Kwangdong that was supposed to get pushed in. So that's happening for now. Second Drake presumably should be given up as well. It's really when those first items start to come through that Kwangdong is going to have to, at the very least, stem some of this bleeding.
Yeah, absolutely. I like, by the way, that Kingen, identifies he's going to be the lane bully, and he just goes full, greedy, scaling items essentially with the Cull and the Tier. We're going to take another look here at the fight in the jungle as Hoyt flashes in, and there's so many summoners already burned when this fight begins.
It's not only the summoners, right, but it's also the health bars and the fact that many members from Kwangdong at this point haven't backed in a while. So they're sitting on gold. And there's scenarios where if Alan isolates someone, Keen knocks them up, you get a little CC chain, then maybe. And again, if Teddy is there, who is working towards his Eclipse, then you might have some power, but Teddy wasn't there. And then you have Ornn.
And Teddy didn't have his ult or his flash or his cleanse. So it's like...
I mean, even then, it'd be risky, right?
Yeah, it just feels very forced over this first Rift Herald when you don't need to take that first Rift Herald with your comp,
Oh, I like this. Sneaky.
I'm just a Nautilus. I'm just hanging out, and there's no sneaky Xinjiao in the brush. I swear.
Oh yeah, that has ult. Barrel also has flash available, so don't think this is gonna lead to a lot. But there might be a small window here where if they can get Prio, make their way over to the Drake and sneak that one off, would buy them a lot of time. But Pioshik in the area, and he is fed.
Yeah, again, they are challenging pretty aggressively, and they do not have vision of where Pioshik is. So if Pioshik's here and you force a trade, you might just lose 3v3. So Kwangdong have to be so careful.
Ooh.
They're going to start this up, though, but this is on vision.
I like this, actually. Using the ult, but you can't fight. You cannot fight here with that bullet time gone.
Okay, but they're going to try to get on top of Pioshik, and they burst him 100-0 with the package as well. Fate gets on in there. Barrel goes down on top of the package there, too. And now Deft and Zeka get baited into this one. They will have to back out of this and give the Drake and the 2 kills to Kwangdong.
Well, as it turns out, I was wrong. Bullet time is only for Prio. Don't need that to actually fight as... Man, DRX, want to see the replay for that one because that is a disaster. It is a Drake going over to Kwangdong. It is 2 kills to Teddy, who was looking strong enough without the kills. Now also going to be able to pick himself up a plate. That's going to be a very good back. That is a Drake, and that is so much time bot there. And honestly, I think it started off with Hoyt actually finally engaged on top of Pioshik, and then all of them just completely 100-0ing him. Now, counterplay here for DRX might still net them this first turbo on top side, but Hoyt taking the Hex Gate.
Yeah, Pioshik still has the Rift Heralds here that he did pick up from that fight in the enemy jungle, so this should be at least 2 plates. I don't think they're going to be able to get this full turret, although they are sticking around. not going to make a big play on this one.
The heal from Keen is like, no! Get away from my turret. And that is a lot of resources invested just for plates. Not really getting a whole lot outside of that. And Teddy's the king of solo kills, and Deft has no
Careful
mana.
now.
Yeah.
He's got double buff, and he's about to have bullet time.
He didn't even back yet.
Yeah. And again, this is the power of Nautilus, I'd say. He sees Pioshik. And
That's
then
it.
100-0 CC.
Oh man, also really nicely played from Fade there. No hesitation whatsoever. Using his package there for the maximum amount of damage. Very, very nice.
Yeah, really good stuff. Now, DRX are going to group up with 2v1 up on the top side just to revisit and take down that turret. As this fate is actually, this trade rather, is actually going to go the way of Fate. And feels pretty good. By the way, in that replay as well, I think Teshrak misunderstood his sight lines. You know, he should know with all these games on Viego where he can stand to be invisible to Hoyt, but he was literally just standing there still in front of the Nautilus. Like, if he weren't Viego, that would just be the most hilarious replay.
Yeah, there was also pink in the in the brush, right? So I don't know what happened there, but Hoyt was then engaged basically. Even with that first turbot giving over, right, King can just decide to freeze. I know he's a blacksmith. They don't like the cold, but he's also a goat, and I think they're fine with it. So maybe we can make that happen in topside. Try and starve King out of some resources. And again, once the Mythic starts to come through, Keen crucially hitting level 13, 14, gets his own upgrade, starts to be able to give out upgrades to others. Fate just needs his Ludens. This Kwangdong comp isn't even truly online yet.
Yeah, they're kind of just sailing by, you know. Everybody's
taking it easy.
Kind of made it through lane very nicely. There is the jungle issue, but I mean, at the end of the day, the Viego isn't insanely fed at this point in time. And then eventually your Ornn and Corki and super fed MF are just like, well, we're just going to burst you.
I'm actually loving this MF pick into the Xayah, because Xayah, her biggest issue traditionally has been her range, right? The fact that when she has a range advantage, she can bully very aggressively as Fate.
Okay, that is the gold card and the Everfrost. He's going to jump in there, but the flash is available. As Elam with the Crescent Guard trying to save his ally, he has to flash as well. And the shot blast is barely not enough, but here comes DF, and he immediately goes down. Oh man, not what you want to see.
Uh-oh.
As now the engage, they're right on top of Teddy, but Teddy is able to flash to safety. And there goes the engage. Teshrak able to dash away here from the bullet time as this is getting out of control. Beryl is going to go down as well. And Kwangdong Freaks pick up yet another kill.
Kwangdong looking good here. Deft has ult, flash and heal.
He does, and he should be able to get out of this one, but he had to use his Featherstorm for it.
Yeah, and again, this DRX comp, it thrives off of advantages, right? It thrives off of being able to take vision control, get first to an objective, and then sit there with the poke. Make use of the Jace. The safety that the comp provides you, combined with vision, can allow you to easily pick up people, making the rotation. And I think this initial play is fine, but just take this. This is already a big lead, right? Like, this is enough. Like, they've used Flash, they've used their ultimates. Just take control of the map. Don't dive. You see all of this. You have, like, even if that works, Hoyt just kills you.
And your TF with one item that's down, right? I mean, maybe you burst someone with the gold card and your Q, but the other guy probably kills you. You're not gonna like auto him down as well unless he stands in your Q. Yeah, just
it's about time.
And that does give Kwangdong Freaks now the lead in the gold. And that's a very comfortable spot for them in this game.
Yeah, they're feeling wonderful. They haven't even hit their Manamune spikes. Like, this is all pre-spike. The spike still has to come.
They're just getting the Drake for free. I mean, DRX don't even feel confident to challenge over that, so they're just going to give this one up. And this package, of course, available. Probably part of the reason why DRX didn't want to fight over the Drake. And instead, they kind of just congregate in the mid lane and farm it out and don't do much.
And this is just the first game. This game, again, I think heavily favored. Heavily favored from Kwangdong onwards, but at the same time, a single misposition from Teddy or Fate can still spell the doom. The one thing that Kwangdong comp will have a lack of is damage, especially if we get into a later stage of the game, but DRX at the same time is kind of squishy, right? So you really need to get both Fate and Teddy, and then there might be some opportunities for you there, but both of those have been playing very well. Big CS leads, a lot of kills. Fate crucially picks up his Ludens here, and they have a Drake lead, Atlas.
Wow.
He didn't even max double up.
It's
level 2.
the level 2 double up, just casual 60% dunk on your health bar. Thank you very much. I mean, he's 3-0. He's level 11.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's really fat, but like the
dunking on him so hard, even without the Muramana completion here.
Yeah. Okay, well, at least Teddy now knows how Death felt a little while ago. As yeah, make it rain, comets, storms. Teddy really finding himself a cohesive theme here, and Death's a bird. They don't like any of that. Not on board.
Not liking
that.
And you see King, and I mean, he's got to hit the targets. I think a lot of this is going to fall onto him now that DRX don't have a solid lead. He needs to be hitting the shock blasts into the squishy targets that you mentioned, you know, the 2 damage dealers that exist on the side of Kwangdong Freaks.
And DRX, again, I really liked how they played this comp out early. It all goes back to that one Drake fight. That Drake fight, if that would have gone the way of DRX, they might have found themselves with a lead that would have been really hard to play for Kwangdong. Because a comp like this with, yes, really inferior high damage dealers like Corki MMF, when they fall behind, they can kind of lack the necessary damage to actually get through even the squishier members, and then your front line gets blown up because you're not doing enough damage, and it becomes very hard to play out, especially into a TF that takes away a lot of possible options when it comes to flanks and stuff like that. But Kwangdong, they can just death ball. They are. Look at that topside wave. Just gonna ignore that. It's not relevant. Doesn't matter.
What? Okay, so they're going to drop down the Rift Herald here 20 minutes into the game, 2 minutes until this objective. And Kwangdong are kind of just sitting here and taking the poke. I mean, Fate has not been able to put in the poke even after his 2-item spike. And the engage is not yet hitting, not yet landing. No dredge lines here from Hoyt. That one just missed. And with the Rift Herald, that is a nice chunk into this mid turret already for DRX.
Oh, Teddy.
You're spotted.
They know.
The gate comes out, and that's actually going to land on the backside. The sword ultimate not going to go in, but the bullet time goes straight into a Zhonya's, as Zeka is going to use that stopwatch, and they do pick up the turret. I'd say that Teddy is okay with that trade, though. You know, take down the stopwatch pretty early on in the game. It's not a Zhonya's just yet.
Crucially, someone that's being used, Zeka, used the stopwatch and forced the flash as well. And the reason why this is relevant is because we have a pivotal fight coming up. Ellen going very far forward. The fact that Keen survives here is very, very notable. And yeah, that flash from Allen, not quite it. I do think it's better to hold on to that, especially in a situation like that, where even if that does hit, again, you're going to be in a really high risk if you do go for that engage. As they want to make a play, but they don't have vision, so they can't actually commit onto punishing King. And crucially, in 50 seconds, what might be the most important fight of the game yet. If Kwangdong take that, I think they definitively rather have the game in the bag. However, DRX's comp is still really strong. King, if he hits 2 big shot blasts on Teddy and Fade, then they can not contest anything.
It's definitely still a time where DRX, as long as they are in a good position to fight, can feel pretty nice. But take a look at the vision around this Drake right now. There's 1 ward. There is not much flank vision either, or flank wards potentially here. As the teleport is going to come in already from the side of Keen, Kwangdong Freaks very nicely set up for this objective.
And that's big. That's all you need if they can. For them, it's the same, right? If Fade hits a couple of key rockets, then fight becomes a whole lot easier. And DRX's ability to start a fight kind of lackluster in the light of Kwangdong as ult's gone thrown down.
Okay, here we go. Barrel, you can see he's itching for an engage, and there's another huge shock blast into their backline, and immediately Kwangdong are like, oh, no, you can take it. We're sorry. We didn't mean it. And that is going to be DRX picking up the Drake once again without much contest here, just like Kwangdong did on the last one.
You have effectively 3 frontliners. Sure, Xin isn't the best tanker, but Keen and Hoy definitely are. Why are Fade and Teddy continuously getting hit?
And they're grouped up together.
I know!
Standing on top of each other.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, this engage onto Zeka. They get the knock up, and here comes Fate, and with the package trying to get some done. Deft with a huge blade caller, but it's not quite enough. Big knock up now onto Zeka. As Everfrost trying to keep him alive here. The exhaust not quite enough. As the double kill now will go over to Teddy, who I believe is 5-0 now in this game. As they are considering the Baron.
Oh, jungler is still alive. Teshrak has the opportunity to steal this, but again, it's up to Kingen. Kingen is going to be able to teleport in fresh. He picked up earlier a Dirk. I wonder what he's going to turn that into.
He's not teleporting.
Are they going to give it up?
Yeah.
I feel like I get it. It is a really big risk. At
the
same time, though, the health bars are kind of low. Maybe you could make it happen, but no.
All right. Free Baron here to the side of Kwangdong Freak. So, of course, I say free after they teleport in for this exact engage in the replay.
And it's Hoyt and Keen doing what they do best. But honestly, Fate, man, the plays have been incredible. Deft didn't have the Feather Storm. No ability to get out of that. So much damage coming down to him in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
As...
Okay, we're going to have a pick here in the mid lane. They're trying to get on top of Teddy, but he's got a big health bar. But now Teshrak with the one reset. Fate in a huge position, though, to just rain down hell. As here comes the Ornn engage again. Teshrak will go down. This time, the Blade Caller from Deft and the Featherstorm will be able to disengage and get them out. And this game is definitely not disappointing in terms of the back and forth crazy nature already in game one.
Oh, yeah. Yep. The team with Baron. Randomly, AD Carry gets caught standing at his own, the ruins, I should say, of his own inner turret. Of course, why not? I would love to see a replay how that happened, because that's not the first time that Teddy has
been caught.
If we
go in a replay, we might miss the next fight, you know, like...
Yep, that is Teddy Alone. Teddy Alone, horror movie coming to you soon, because it never ends well. It gets blown up, especially into a TF. That in of itself is always going to feel fairly risky. Also really nice flank angle, but unfortunately, and this is something you already touched upon, if you go for any play, prepare to 5v5, because the range of engage for Kwangdong with this Ornn is so incredibly dependable. And it's working out really nicely. Let's see, as Keen is going to start giving out upgrades, who he's going to prioritize. My guess would be Fate, but he wants to give Teddy a, I want to say Syzygy?
Eclipse.
If I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I had this conversation. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, Kingen, you are just dead. Welcome to MF's world. As Ellen just, pokes a spear in and gets the kill. But majority of that damage, once again, done here by Teddy, who is a monster carry right now. As long as he can land that bullet time. And with that pick, this is going to be another turret going the way of Kwangdong Freaks.
Oh, and the one saving grace for DRX is that there is no soul point for Kwangdong. But even then, you're behind in gold. On the scoreboard, you're further behind because you're playing against a comp that outskills you. And you're even further behind because you're playing into Ornn. So, overall situation, not great, Valdez. When you are a DRX fan, and I really, again, I feel like they started off so well. I was actually really impressed at how they used the priority.
Yeah.
But this composition felt a little bit disjointed from the get-go, barring, again, the ability would have the pressure.
We have to do this, he says.
Ice cold.
I mean, this is just 100-0, and then, of course, Ellen, he's helping. As we are just about to get ready for this next X-Tech Drake, 15 seconds left. As Fate, no package this time you'd imagine, but he does have the teleport, should be able to get on over. As yes, confirmation he does not have the package. But still, once again, another great setup here in terms of vision for the Kwangdong Freaks. And that front line is only going to get tankier, and you're not always going to get the huge shock blast as Kingen, and this time it's not quite going to happen. The Destiny Gate will come out here, but where is your engage? Doesn't look like we'll get one from the side of DRX, as now Zeka in a large amount of trouble has to flash the wall. Welcome to Ornn's world.
It's a lot of worlds, but none for DRX, unfortunately. They are currently looking worldless as they get pushed back. And this is the problem at this point, TF does nothing, right? You're playing against a death ball comp. They're a ball of death. There's no picking off. There is no one in the side lane. Side lanes don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna shove it down mid, and that's what the Kwangdong Go honestly does best.
Now, I wouldn't put it past Kwangdong Freaks to somehow get out of position and maybe mix something up, as seems like DRX know that Teddy is around that corner, even without the vision. Probably saw him walk around and stop. So that poor Wolf does go down, but yeah, Kwangdong Freaks now in a great spot here. We still have a minute until the Baron, and they're just kind of baiting here. They know there's zero vision for DRX up there. As now maybe it's Barrel's turn. He does have the Eclipse, and it will be enough with the Locket just to survive there.
Oh, Cyril's Grudge is a great item, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Very fun to play into as well, unfortunately. And looking at the gold leads here, Pioshik's gold lead, unfortunately, in the large scheme of things, pretty irrelevant. And Kingen also going for Yuma's. I don't know. Into Ornn, into just the amount of resistances on the enemy team in general, I feel like Cyrilda's kind of a no-brainer. Because you're the main damage source.
Yeah.
Unless they all run into depth, which, again, and this is the core issue that that DRX is running into, and why I love this draw from Kwangdong. DMF very clearly a direct response to what they know was going to be high Zyra priority. Add a Corki to that, and what Deft's going to do? Like, I don't know. Who needs to be close to him?
Not too much, yeah.
Not really anyone. I mean, Keen, but I don't think you're killing Keen.
Not with your, I mean, he does have the Soreldas, but
even
still,
then,
even then, it's rough. It's an Ornn. It's 30 minutes into the game, and it should be another Baron here for the Kwangdong Freaks, unless we do see DRX somehow burn through the darkness that is on the side. They do have the Destiny. They might just use that. Pioshik in the front lines, not really looking for this big solar flare as Zeka goes around the back, finds Faith. They might just be able to burn him, and they do! Huge shock blast onto the Corki. That might be enough here for DRX, but no, the turn comes. Pioshik goes down, Zeka goes down, and Kingen and Deft are left alive. They're trying to kite this one out. A lot of the damage from Kwangdong is out as Barrel with a huge flash to get out of there. And now he's trying to frontline here for Kingen and Deft. It might be enough, but the flash is not quite coming in. Kingen now with the engage, and the double up is enough with the Feather Storm. And Deft is jumping into multiple and looking to take them down, but LM has enough damage, and the Xayah will bite the dust. And Kwangdong Freaks will ace them after the Baron.
And that was almost a heroic stand from DRX, almost able to turn back what looked like a last fight. There you saw, if Fate dies, this comp lacks the damage. Right, these extended skirmishes might not have worked out, and honestly, a wonderful flank coming through. Zeka and Barrel completely isolating. But crucially,
threading the needle too.
Yeah, Pioshik immediately dies, right? And with him dead, a lot of the resets that are available normally in a situation like this don't work out. And man, just wonderfully played from DRX here. Keen not able to take anyone with the knock-up, and Teddy. His burst is amazing, but this is, of course, where the MF really... look, yeah, that double up was pretty disgusting.
It was the first hit, too.
I know.
But it was enough.
Yeah. As by the end of it, you do see how far ahead Kwangdong really is, right? And LM is able to actually close it out with the resistances that he does have, very strong into the Lethality Xayah.
Void's on vision here. He does not care. He wants an engage. They want to... Oh, that knock-up not going to work. It doesn't seem to matter, though, because down goes Barrel. And...
Hey, zoning ult. Good enough.
I mean, he slowed him. He slowed him. Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it was good enough.
It still counts.
They killed Barrel.
Still counts for something.
Good enough for me, Valdez.
Yeah. I wonder at what point, I mean... Now DRX down. Remember, are they going to fight for this? 4v5, as you can see.
Did you see that shock blast?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't do any damage. And now Kingen, he doesn't get to enter the fight, says DRX do have a lane down mid, but this is going to be Hextech Dragon Soul to KDF. And they can immediately just run mid and deny any kind of split push.
And coming into this match, we talked about the bot side, and Deft and Barrel have been the most consistent. And I don't even think that it's specifically them. I just think that this MF response, very nicely done, Death is all by himself.
That's not nice. Maybe he can take out the turret, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
He can just, he decides not to Feather Storm. Yeah, I mean, he could have bought some more time, but he elects to just keep it, I suppose.
Yeah,
for the next fight. Doesn't really matter.
Not going to change the outcome. Unfortunately, I think also not going to change the outcome of this game, as at this point, Soul was available. I'm actually pretty surprised to what extent DRX have been able to stay relatively close to this in terms of gold. Because it's only like 4K. And they're 5 and 16, so
yeah.
you know, I'm trying to find a positive outlook here, but there isn't really any, because they're getting pushed in for the end. Keen CP as well, so this is safe as possible here for Kwangdong.
And you can see this Corki is well and truly online. And so they can just push this one in. They're just going to rotate to mid, take down this inhibitor. And now 2 inhibitors down. Kwangdong Freaks. Still a while until the next objective, but they're not confident enough to end the game at this point in time, so they're just going to go for a bit of a regroup and come back because their comp is online. The Ornn exists, the Corki exists, even the MF has gotten an upgrade. Everybody's enjoying their position right now, 35 minutes into the game.
Except Hoy. Hoy doesn't have an upgrade yet.
Not yet.
Him alone, but he's going to get it now. There we go.
Yeah, he does pick it up.
It's a nice moment.
I
felt left out, Velda.
Yeah. Everybody deserves an upgrade. I only wish that airlines felt the same way. And yeah, I mean, we got a minute until this Baron. Kwangdong just got to be careful not to run into any pockets of no vision, and they should be fine.
Just group. Honestly, it's not that hard. Just don't get picked off by TF, and you'll be fine. That is really the key thing here. Can grab Cryo very easily with your double supers stacking on top side. Obviously, mid Cryo going to be no problem. Inhibitor down there as well. And I think you just take control of this pit, then run top side, get the Baron, and end the game. Might not even have to do that. Why flip it over Baron when you can just 5-man it down bot lane? Which I honestly... I like it a lot. I think it's the safest call, and I don't know, DRX. In the next game, might need to see some changes in drafts. King goes in. They're all not too bothered by all of it.
Yeah, he's fine. And DRX do know that this push is just going to come in to the bottom side. King and the Shock Blast not really doing too much. The Viego, the TF can't really get in range, and Fate is pretty gigantic now, so Shock Blast does come in onto Fate there in the back.
He has Ravenous as well.
Yeah, he's got lifesteal, and you just sit here and you just siege them. Ornn is so good at this. That's another big Shock Blast on the Fate, as you know, every one that hits makes you wonder. As the engage comes in, Element's just gonna nearly go down. The bullet time is down, and Fate, they're trying to get on top of him, but he will be resurrected at the end of the day, and Ellum will survive here for the moment. Teddy is going to get Heartbreaker down. There's Pilsic looking for the reset, as this is a pretty strong Viego. And as he said, I mean, where is the damage? Can any of them kill them? Okay, the teleport is going to come in here. And with the package, here comes the package. Big delivery from Fate, as you will be able to take down everybody and end this game. Kwangdong Freaks will take game number 1 in the series.
And honestly, Kwangdong, a draft that could get punished. They did get punished in the early game. It was actually a really nice first 10 minutes from DRX, but then one fight at Drake snowballs into more and more and more. And Kwangdong take a decisive first game victory here. The game might have taken a little bit longer, but honestly, felt like there was a lot that DRX could do once the early game window had passed.
Very true. I think that...